Welcome to another episode of Unfiltered. Yeah, I took last week off. Sometimes, if you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. So, I wasn't in the mood last week, so I didn't do a show. This week, however, getting a little scratchy on my microphone. Starting off with some sad news, because over the weekend at the Culpeper Air Fest in Culpeper, Virginia, aerobatic pilot John Thacker passed away, was killed in a crash while performing the Friday night air show at the Culpeper Air Fest. Not sure what happened. I'm sure an investigation is happening. It was done during the night show, and for those of you who have never seen a night air show, yes, they have air shows at night, and they are spectacular. They put different sparkly fireworks stuff at the end of the wings, and you know, they fly around. It's a great thing. Unfortunately, crashes are not a great thing. So, John, rest in peace. Prayers, thoughts, condolences go out to the family. I know it's not a lot. You know, I'm sure that if you go to the Redline Air Show's website, I'm sure there's more information. I'm pretty sure there's probably been a fund set up for his family and things like that. So John will be sorely missed in the air show community. He was a great pilot, and the Redline Air Show team is fantastic and exciting to watch. So that's all I can think of. If you noticed, I got my new glasses. Unfortunately, the sunglasses didn't come out, which didn't come in yet, but I guess it's all right because the weather's been kind of cloudy and gray and rainy. Right up until this morning, and it is, bright, sunny, and cold. If you look out your window and go, wow, it looks like a beautiful day, put on a jacket, because it's cold. Now, you know what time it is, right? Time to go to the rant cam, because while I didn't shoot a show last week, I was quite amused at the response that the new cell phone mobile presidential alert system got. This was beyond hilarious. So, this is, where do I even start on this? How about here? Do you really think the president has nothing better to do than to sit in a room going, geez, you know, whose phone can I break into and what kind of havoc can I cause? If that's the way you think, again, I feel sorry for you. You're worried about the fact that somebody can take control of your phone, the camera on your phone, the microphone on your phone. At the same time, you are loading your house up with appliances that can be controlled remotely through the internet. Security systems, TVs, but Alexa or whatever Uma or whatever damn little box you got sitting on your counter so that you can have somebody to talk to and boss around. Your house is loaded with this stuff. This is the whole technology thing. Again, we screamed and yelled because, we heard rumors that the government was going to start putting little tracking implants in everybody. We screamed and yelled about that. We will not be controlled. We will not be tracked. We will not have our privacy invaded like that. So the government said, fine. They put trackers in all cell phones. And you pay for it. Think nothing of it. And now all of a sudden you're worried because the president can push a button and send out a message. A national emergency message. Here is the reason why this system is important. The simple fact is that while the older of you folks that are sitting home watching this grew up with TVs and know what it is to watch TV and how you have had to watch TV. Remember, before VCRs, there was no way to record a TV show. So if your favorite TV show was on Tuesday nights at 8:30, guess what? You better be there Tuesday nights at 8:30. Or you wait for the summer reruns. Because all the series reran shows in the summertime. New shows were during the regular television season, which was like September to April. And then everything started into reruns because less people were home. Nowadays, the younger generation, they don't want to stay home and watch TV. So everything is through the internet. They don't listen to radio anymore. They listen to Pandora or Spotify or one of these other streaming services that probably pay nothing to the damn musicians and the artists that make the music, but they rake in the dough to let people listen to it. So the fact is, people are watching less TV. They're listening to less radio, which means the old-fashioned emergency broadcast system is obsolete. So now we need a way to be able to reach everybody. The answer? Cell phones. Why? Because everybody has a cell phone. Even your damn 6-year-old has a cell phone these days. I don't know why, but that's the way it is. Again, I don't think you have to worry about the president hacking into your phone and taking control of your camera. It's I don't know whether it's conspiracy theory. Personally, I don't trust the government at all. Because this mega centralized government that we have is not what the founding fathers intended. The Founding Fathers firmly believed in states' rights. Yes, it may make it a little more confusing if every state had its own set of rules and its own set of laws. Traveling from state to state would be kind of hard because you'd have to know the laws in every state. But what that affords us the luxury of is that if you don't like it someplace, you can go someplace else. It's as simple as that. America was intended for the freedom. And the different colonies, when they were formed, were generally formed around religious beliefs. They were the Puritans in a certain area. The Quakers were in a certain area. The Catholics, Christians were in a certain area. And, if you wanted to be a Quaker, you go and live among the people who believe what you believe. The problem is the central government thinks that we should all mingle together. But what that takes is tolerance. That takes respect, more respect than I believe that we have right now for each other. I don't think we could pull it off. Which brings me to my next question. Are you willing to die for your beliefs? It's an age-old question. Are you willing to die for your beliefs? Are your beliefs so strong that you would lay down your very life for them? That's a tough one, isn't it? But I know most of you said, yes, I'm prepared to die for my beliefs. So here's the next question. Are you ready to kill someone for your beliefs? Are you? Are you strong enough to point a gun at somebody or stab somebody or beat somebody to death just because they don't believe the same thing that you do? Remember, in the end, that's what it's going to come down to. The next civil war will not be, it will be a war of ideals. It won't be a war of substance. It will be a war of ideals. And it will be people killing other people over stupid crap that doesn't mean anything. It's sad, especially when there is so much potential here. I got all hung up on the Science Channel this weekend because, as against the new spectrum equipment as I was, now that I've got this box and I've got some of these new channels, it's incredible. I'm getting some real weird, it's my microphone, scratching. The Science Channel, I got hung up on the Science Channel this weekend. They had a whole bunch of stuff about NASA. And NASA through the 60s, and then a lot of the exploration spaceships that they've sent out, Cassini, the Voyagers, New Horizon. One of the things that I noticed during the, they were talking about the Cassini project, which went out and I believe went out as far as Saturn. It took pictures of, it had been in service for 30 years, and it had finally come to the end of its mission, and they drove it into the atmosphere of Saturn, and it let it burn up. But watching that one, they were talking to the head controller of this entire project, or I guess mission commander or whatever. It was a woman. And it surprised me. She had been doing this for 30 years. She's been involved in this project. And there are a number of the other space exploration projects like New Horizon, and I can't remember exactly which ones, but I noticed that a large number of them had women as the top dog. Which again kind of tweaks my mind when people talk about unfairness to women, because there are women out there that have done amazing things. Look at our Secretary of the Air Force. She was a Keene native. I can't remember what her first name is. Maybe Ann? No, I can't remember what her first name is. But she is a Wilson. A lot of you folks in Keene, if you're in the, if you know Keene entertainment at all, you know Ian Wilson. His sister is the Secretary of the Air Force. That is huge. And she's a woman. Again, you get out of life what you put into life. That's what it seems that people don't understand, is that if you want to be a success, you've got to do more than just show up. That's it. Just because you show up doesn't mean you're going to be a success. You work for a living. And you can bet that, these ladies didn't get to where they were by, showing up at 9 and going home at 5. These ladies got to where they were probably because, they would show up an hour early. They would stay hours late. They would work through their lunch. They would work through their breaks. That is how you achieve, is you work for it. That's all I'm saying. That's kind of a mini rant. I know it shouldn't be a rant because it's all on me, but hey, I can take the heat. I got up this morning, and of course I use my phone as my alarm because it's got a great horn on it that's loud and it'll wake me up. But I woke up and the little icon popped up. It says iOS whatever installed, and you need to punch in your Apple ID information. Now this is something that I did when I first got the phone. It's like our email address, which is easy, because it's work. And then password. Well, I've had the phone for like 5-6 years now. And couldn't remember that password. I mean, I knew it could only be a number of, a few. But the different iterations of my passwords, there's a lot of different combinations that I use. So I started punching them in, and wrong password, wrong password. And after a while, I'm thinking, man, if I hit 10 times, is that gonna really lock up my phone and I'm never gonna be able to get into it again? And then what do? I can't take it, you can't take it to Verizon, because how the hell do they know your password? You were the one that put it in there. So, folks, keep a password book or something so you can remember your passwords. And that's getting, harder and harder for me as time goes on, is to remember all these passwords. Of course, the more passwords you have, the harder it is to remember every single one of them. And which one did I use for this? And which one did I use for that? Which one did I use for that? And, I'm not saying I'm old or anything, but a little bit of that, maybe it affects your memory. I don't know. I just know that sometimes I can't remember some things. And I don't drink, so I know it's not that. Man, I wish I knew what that scratching was. I can't, other than that, I'm worried about the election. I'm worried that, all of the media is wrong and all of the polls are wrong, as they were in 2016, where the Democrats are predicting, big turnovers in the House and gaining seats in the Senate. But if none of that happens, I know exactly what will happen if none of that happens. If there is not a blue wave, if there is indeed a red wave, because the people that are going to vote, the people that have been dead silent, that you haven't heard anything from, they're all going to vote, the people that don't march in the streets. That's what I'm saying. And you got no way of knowing. How do you know half of your people that answered they were going to vote Democrat in your polls aren't really going to vote Republican? But they just said Democrat in the poll. I lie to these people all the time. Serves them right for bothering me at home with their stupid calls. Yes, I lie to them. I know, it throws off the polls. That may be a good thing. But who cares? My worry is that if indeed there is not a blue wave, that there is, a red wave, for instance, and the Republicans, gain seats in the House or gain seats in the Senate, the left is going to go nuts. And I have a feeling that we will start to see real violence. And again, if you're not willing to kill for your beliefs, maybe you better rethink your beliefs. Because if you come after me, for instance, you've taken my choice away from me. Because I will kill you in my defense. Yeah, plain and simple. That's not a threat. It's not a threat, that's just the way it is. There are people that start fights, there are people that that try to avoid fights. But if the fight comes to them, again, if it's me and you, if it's me or you, guess what? I'm the survivor. Because I am more ruthless than you and crazier than you. Let's go back over here. See what happens when I come in and have nothing to talk about during the show? It's a sad thing. I forgot to pull up forgot to load up the suicide hotline this week. But hey, that's still a problem. 22 veterans a day still kill themselves. It's a sad thing. Many more civilians kill themselves as well, you know. But reach out. If you feel that way, you know, you feel weird like that, reach out to somebody. Talk to them, because you're worth it. All right, I guess that's about it. I'm down to under a minute, so until next week, I'm Rick Blood. This is Unfiltered. Peace.